congratulations on completing your Cornetto trilogy finally.
Thank you.
Are you excited?
We just wanted to make good on a promise for once.
Well, you're a good man for sticking to your word. Do you feel like a sense of closure and sort of happiness that maybe you're not going to have to answer any more ice cream related questions?
Yeah, but the lady before just said, when are you doing a third series of Space? Oh, I'll never win. I'll never win.
Yeah.
No, the question that then comes up is people say, well, are you going to do a second trilogy? And I'm like, oh, I just finished this one.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, my question would have been, is there a potential to go, say, the Star Wars route and do a trilogy of prequels? You could do prequels for this, or, say, Indiana Jones style, have a huge gap, 20 years, and just tack a fourth one onto the end.
I don't know whether that's a good idea.
Just keep it in the wheelhouse,
Yeah.
see how it goes, see if it marinates into something. Yeah. And now, in terms of like your writing process as well with Simon, I wanted to ask what your kind of like technique is for getting together. Are you guys, pretty, gel well when you're sort of writing, or is it a bit more of a difficult process?
No, I think we gel really well actually, and actually, this script was the first time we'd written together for quite a few years. I think sort of. I'm just trying to think. I guess that was probably like sort of 5 years since we'd written Hot Fuzz. When we had the story idea on the Hot Fuzz press tour in like 2007, and
I read that was on the Australian press tour as well.
It was. It was at Sydney Airport. It was when we were landing from Wellington to Sydney, and I sort of had the idea on the plane, and I was thinking about the script that I'd written when I was 21 about teenagers on a pub crawl, which I'd never done anything with. And I didn't necessarily want to make that film now, but I thought, well, maybe there's something in them being adults, and there's richer potential in the themes that me and Simon keep coming back to about perpetual adolescence. What if like there's one guy that really wants to do this pub crawl again, and the other four aren't that fussed at all?
Yeah.
And how as soon as he actually, forcibly regresses them, all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
So I mentioned that idea to Simon, and then we immediately kind of like sort of started hashing out the story.
Right.
But then when we came to write it, like years later, like it was good. We'd both had a break. We'd both done a lot of other projects, and it just sort of came out very sort of fluidly because we'd had a lot of time to think about it.
Right. And in terms of like the setting of it being a pub crawl, did you guys embark on much field research for this? Was there sort of
it didn't need to. There was all like sort of very much like lodged in the memory.
Right.
Like it didn't need any more hangovers and stuff. But I'd done one when I was 19, which is where the original script came from, which was a disaster. And then in my late 20s or mid 20s, maybe after Space and before Sean, me and Simon and Nick ended up in my hometown, and we tried to do it again, and that went even worse.
Oh, really?
So I think they had to carry me back to my hotel. So I think sort of then it started to really strike me that this was like a pathetic sort of like attempt to recapture teenage glory years.
Right. I was going to ask, out of the three of you, which one's the best drinker? I'm guessing after that sort of incident, maybe you're out of the running. It's down to those guys.
I think so, probably like Frost is your man.
Right.
He's got the fortitude.
Excellent. Now, I wanted to ask you about the alien design in the films as well. Now, just how you arrived at the actual design, because they look like a hell of a lot of fun. They're kind of like space pinatas, you just give them a good smack and they crack open.
It's funny. Nobody said pinata. I used to always say it's like punching an Easter egg.
Right.
I remember saying to her, said, imagine if you put your fifth through an Easter egg. It's like, it looks solid, but it's hollow inside, so you just go smash.
Yeah.
It looks like it'd be fun to kind of like punch one of their heads off.
Yeah, it looks really satisfying.
Like a Christmas bauble.
Yeah, exactly. If you had a hard day at the office, you can just crack a
Maybe we should make that, make some like sort of like punch a blank.
Yeah.
The where they came from was like sort of, I mean, there's obviously like there's kind of lots of sci-fi sort of like staples of androids, be it Blade Runner, like Ash and Alien, Stepford Wives, Westworld. The Autons from Doctor Who.
Yep.
But I had this idea of like, I used to play with like action men when I was a kid. I always used to like twist their heads off.
Right.
And twist the arms off and sort of take them apart. So I'd end up with these like action men where they were sort of broken and they had like one arm.
Yeah.
No head.
Like the evil toys in Toy Story.
Yeah, exactly. So was
Yeah.
it Spike? Is that his name? What's the kid's name?
Oh, yeah, I think it is Spike. Yeah.
So yeah, I would do that. And so I thought there was something in that in terms of it would be interesting to see like sort of fight scenes where even if you took the arms off, they would keep coming. So that's where that idea came from, really. And then the sort of the idea of the blue kind of ink inside is because when I was a kid at school, I'd always get like ink all over my hands and all over my face and my shirt.
Yeah.
And I always that struck me as something that like reminded me of school. So I wanted to make the actors all feel like they were back at school again by covering their hands with ink.
Very nice, very clever. Yeah. Okay. And I must ask you as well while we hear about Ant-Man, can you tell me where that project's at and what's any little scoops you can give us on the development of that?
Very little scoops.
Right.
I didn't even tell Empire in London, like, sort of, like... Here's the thing, is I get very superstitious about, like, sort of talking about things before they're done, because I don't want to be the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah.
And, you know, talk about something if it doesn't, you know... I mean, it will happen. Yeah. But it's... I feel very jinxy talking about it.
Right, okay. So you just want to keep chilling it until it's a bit further down the track.
Well, it's not going to be out for 2 years, so I kind of feel like maybe I'll promise I'll be back.
Sure. Fair enough. Have you gone as far to look at potential Ant-Mans, though?
No.
Not yet?
Well, we talked about people, but they don't know who they are yet.
Right. Okay. Good answer.
It's you.
It's me!
You're hired.
Excellent. I knew my audition. I knew I nailed it.